Halloween in Cincinnati, the Bengals up by 2. Both these teams, Solomon, last week with disappointing losses, and both trying to come back from that here this afternoon.
Yeah, both teams have been underachievers, and they normally say the most desperate team usually wins. Both teams are very desperate. That's why we have a very tight, closely played game in the first half. And I think the team that makes the fewest mistakes, particularly at the quarterback position, who doesn't turn it over, that's the team that's going to prevail.
Time now to look at our points of protection brought to us this afternoon by Allstate.
It is about protection, and protection inside the red zone for the Miami Dolphins. They've had 6 possessions on offense, but they can't get it into the end zone. Had to settle for 4 field goals. And how about Terrell Owens? He's only caught 3 passes in this game. 2 of them have gone for touchdowns. And, yeah, protections for the quarterbacks have been very good. Neither team has had a sack of the other team's quarterback.
Well, Carson Palmer has thrown a couple touchdown passes in this game, both to Terrell Owens.
Yeah, he's come out, and I thought he had really good rhythm early in the game. They run it well, so they've been able to protect him. And so he spread it around, had a few missed throws in terms of incompletions, but more than anything, he's been on the money. Even when he's thrown it to the Miami Dolphins, they played volleyball with it, and it's wound up in the hands of Terrell Owens. 2 touchdown passes in the first half for Carson Palmer. Remember, coming off a game last week, Kevin, where he had over 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Didn't throw an interception last week, so you might say for the last 6 quarters he's been dead on.
Mike Nugent will kick it away for Cincinnati, and away we go with our second half. Cubs on the run from the 17. Outside, and he's brought down by Brandon G. Who's a high draft pick in the secondary out of Wake Forest. It's a 15-yard return. So those are the numbers with Chad Henne. The interception, and he has it first down and 10 at his own 34.
Well, he talked about Miami Dolphins, their struggle and inability to score points coming into today's game, averaging 18 points a game. One way that you can really steal a game from the opposing team, you score points at the end of the first half, and then on that first possession in the second half, before you know it, you're leading on the scoreboard.
Ricky Williams in the backfield, first down and 10 from the 34. Flag was thrown. Coverage by Chris Crocker on Devon Bess, sliding at the 47-yard line, 13-yard pickup as it stands right now.
Holding offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's their multiple Pro Bowler, Jake Long.
Well, I got to tell you, Chad Henne has all day to throw the ball. The Cincinnati Bengals pass rush is not getting home. Now, I think that's got to really increase your confidence if you're the Miami Dolphins that we can throw the ball against this group. That's why Matt Ryan was so successful last week. This Bengals defense, they have not shown the ability to pressure quarterbacks like they did during the 2009 season.
Nothing to Marshall since the opening drive. First down and 20. His way into the tackle of Morgan Trent. Meager gain of 3. They'll put him at the 27.
And they'll move Brandon Marshall around. Now they're lining him up to work on Morgan Trent. Didn't do much against Leon Hall on the other side in the first half. Had been thrown to only 1 time, had 1 catch in the first half. Now they go to him immediately here in the second half. You can tell they want to get him going.
On this drive, John Jerry is playing the right guard. He started there, the rookie. Second down and 17. Marshall again, Long out there leading the way from behind, yanked down by Michael Johnson. But the catch and run take him to the 42. He picks up 16.
We told you they wanted to get him going. They motion him down. That way you can't get a jam on him. And it's just a quick, what we call a bubble screen. Creating yards after the catch is what he wants to do. Look how difficult he is to tackle. He's dragging defenders and still creating yards after he's made the catch. He's a big guy, isn't he? He walked into our room, Brandon Marshall.
He's on a pace right now to break O.J. McDuffie's single-season Dolphin receiving record of 90 catches. Back in 98, 3rd and 1. Right on the money, a second drop today for the tight end Fasano. Covered by Chris Crocker. That was a perfect pass. It would have gotten a huge gain. They got to punt the ball in their first second half possession.
And see, Henne has to put more air under this. Watch number 42, Chris Crocker. He undercuts it. So with that orange jersey underneath, put air under it. Drop it in over Crocker, and Fasano may make the catch, but you flatline it. That allows Crocker to reach that hand out and knock it down. Really good defensive play by Chris Crocker.
You're exactly right. Good call by you. He did deflect the ball. Tough to catch. The ensuing punt by Brandon Fields. Quan Cosby and a great Miami bounce down about the 6-7 yard line. So Fields does his job, a well-placed 50-yard punt. That means that Carson Palmer will be marooned at his 7 when we come back. You know, Miami just had that 3rd and 1, and look at the success Polite has found on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and then they decide to throw the ball to Anthony Fasano. He was open. And every now and then, you have to go against the tendency. I think the defense knows they're going to give it to Lusaka Polite on 3rd and 1.
Sean Smith is still in there for the starter, Jason Allen, on 1st and 10. Benson tiptoes up the sideline. Crowder brings him down. Gain of 4 after all that running up to about the 11-yard line.
If you're Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, you are unhappy. Look, penetration, make the tackle. Another penetration, got to make that tackle. Cameron Wake can't get him. Neither can Vontae Davis. And now it's about a 4 or 5 yard gain when you should have had him tackled in the backfield for a loss.
5 in the secondary, 2nd down and 6 for Palmer. From behind, Sapp, gain of 4. They'll put him at the 15-yard line. Boy, Tony Sperano in particular said Shipley scares me, the slot rookie receiver.
Oh, he is really, I think, fit into this offense and probably hit the ground running faster than the other new components that we had talked about in the first half around Carson Palmer. Remember, it's Terrell Owens' first year in the offense. It's Jermaine Gresham's first year in the offense. Jordan Shipley is his first year, but he's acclimated more quickly. He knows his hot reads. He's seeing the same thing in coverage that his quarterback Carson Palmer is. Gets his head around, finds the football, and makes the catch.
Caldwell is in as a receiver. 3rd down and 2. 6 in the secondary for the Dolphins. Incomplete. Great pressure put on the quarterback, and that came from Cameron Wake, who was in Palmer's grill. That incompletion credited to number 91.
Yeah, watch Cameron Wake. He's going to loop around, come right up the middle, come underneath into the face of Carson Palmer, and don't you just love his story?
Oh, yeah.
6 sacks in the first 6 games this year. They jettison out Joey Porter. Gone is Jason Taylor. They knew this kid could come in and make plays, and he hasn't disappointed them so far this season.
Huber to punt. Deep end is Devon Bess. Not very long. Bess. That's a bounce. He may have touched the ball, and then it was picked up on the play by Cincinnati's Michael Johnson. It is a turnover. It's the 2nd turnover by Miami, and Cincinnati will continue on offense.
Remember, Bess is looking into the sun. He attacked as if he was going to catch it, but then he became indecisive. See, he didn't know if he was going to catch it. Then he tried to back up. The ball bounced, hit him. Michael Johnson is Johnny on the spot. He grabs it, steps out of bounds. Boy, the Bengals have had some fortunate bounces of the ball today. We saw one ricochet off a defender into the hands of Terrell Owens for a touchdown, and this one is uncanny.
They rule it a muff. On the 45, 1st and 10 for the Bengals. Timeout.
First charge timeout, Cincinnati.
It was called from the sideline. It was not called by Carson Palmer. 11:13 to play here in the 3rd. A 2nd Dolphin turnover. 2 turnovers by the Miami Dolphins. They've had to settle for 4 field goals on a beautiful day in downtown Cincinnati. It's 1st and 10 for the Bengals at their own 45. Palmer's thrown 2 touchdown passes, both to Terrell Owens. One on a ricochet off a defensive back at the Dolphins' hands. They bring the blitz. Dropped. Was it a fumble? Gresham was the one to have it. The blitz was by Sean Smith. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Gresham made the catch initially. He was a little bit lethargic in terms of the suddenness needed to pull this ball back into his body. See, he catches, he doesn't get it back in, and so rightfully so, Jeremiah Bell is able to pry it loose before Gresham could haul it into his body.
Wake is playing the left defensive end right here. 5 in the secondary, 2nd down and 10. Good time. Owens. 37-yard line. Crowder has a beat on him, brings him down after a gain of 8.
Setting up a 3rd and short. Bengals have the option to run it with Cedric Benson, or if Carson Palmer is going to spread them out and try to find the weak defender. He's got so many options now. We've seen him go to Chad Ochocinco. Terrell Owens been thrown to 8 times, 4 catches for 61 yards. We've seen him go to Shipley and Gresham, and he'll just find the best matchup advantage to pick up this 1st down.
6 in the secondary on 3rd down and 2. Incomplete, looking for Shipley. The coverage by Benny Samp. 3 and out for Cincinnati. Just as a moment of talk here on the Dolphin defense. Starting the game was Jason Allen. He was beaten on the 1st series by T.O. on a touchdown pass. We haven't seen hide nor hair of number 32 since Smith took his place at that cornerback position, even in multiple defensive back fronts.
And how about the coverage by Sapp on that play? In fact, the coverage crossed the board. That's a huge opportunity for the Bengals to put more points on the board after getting the turnover, but the defense for the Dolphins making plays.
Able to punt once again. This is into a slight breeze, and Devon passes back inside the 10. Rico Murray downs the ball. He's had a nice day today. Murray has good special teamer. 42-yard punt. Here comes Miami. I want to thank our good friends at MetLife for the MetLife Blimp for providing these terrific scenics today. For the MetLife Blimps, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. Gorgeous day. Worst beginning field position for the Miami Dolphins. Brown will be in the backfield, 1st and 10. Well-placed punt by Hubert from the 5 of Miami. Johnny Brown, not a lot there. A lot of guys in hand that like Frosty Rucker. And look at Alaluga come in. Gain of 2. They'll spot him at the 7.
Cincinnati Bengals defense need a real good stop here to try to get good possession if they force a punt for the Miami Dolphins. Looked like a Cincinnati Bengals defender is down on the play.
Looks like Frosty Rucker. We have 10:04 to play in the 3rd quarter in Cincinnati. The injured Cincinnati player was Tank Johnson. They'll take him out. Try to get an update. 2nd down and 8 here for the Miami Dolphins. Fasano. Room to roam. Out of block from hardline. Run out of bounds across the way by Morgan Trent. That was a catch and run at 12 yards. And a 1st down to the 19-yard line for Henne and the Dolphin offense.
And Chad Henne has the offense moving. Creating 1st down, the early portions of this drive when you're backed up against your own end zone, it's very important. You take a look at the 1st quarter points for the Cincinnati Bengals. Haven't done much since then. And in the 2nd and 3rd quarters, Chad Henne and the offense, they've kind of gotten it going.
After the first down for either team in the 2nd half, 1st and 10. That is caught, Hartline near side, and Morgan Trent was there. The spot at the 31, another 12-yard gain, another 1st down for Miami.
Good decision and real good execution by Henne. You saw him looking over the middle. He knew he could not go over the middle late. Could have been intercepted. Instead, he presses toward the perimeter to get the ball to Hartline. He makes the catch for yet another Dolphins 1st down on the drive.
Pat Sims has taken the place of the injured Tank Johnson. We don't know if he's going to return. It is a 1st down. Here is Ronnie Brown into a big defensive wall of the Bengals. Gain of a yard up to the 32-yard line.
Really, you could tell this is an offense. Yeah, Tony Sperano, we talked about it. They want to run the ball with Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams right now. The rush yards for Miami, very difficult to come by. 67 yards. Not any really long gains. He said our longest run of the season came week 2 against Minnesota, 50-yard run. Since then, their longest run has been that of 13 yards.
4 defensive backs on the 2nd down and 9 with the empty backfield. Thrown in back of Marshall. He had hit 7 consecutive passes, had Chad Henning. It's an incompletion, and that will set up 3rd and 9.
I believe this ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Again?
They're getting some pressure right now on Chad Henning. You said pressure didn't come early. Rivers was able to get in. Looked like the ball had been tipped, but Rivers was knifing in. Could have made the sack. Morgan Trent, look, they're going at him. He's filling in for Jonathan Joseph. Thrown at him 10 times. Completed 7 of them, so that's a 70% completion rate when they've gone at Morgan Trent.
And he missed some time in practice this week with an injury.
He's a fine young player.
3rd and 9 into the nickel. Henning, Bess, 1st down, 49-yard line. They're working on Chris Crocker. Bess comes up with a gain of 21. We've had catch and run of 12 by Fasano, a 12-yard catch by Hartline. That's the biggest gain of the day for the Miami Dolphins.
Kind of concerned when Marvin Lewis told us that Chris Crocker was going to play some nickel corner, considering that they have some other defensive backs who are out. Remember, Jonathan Joseph out. How about Adam Jones? He went on injured reserve this week after playing really well in Atlanta. Chinedum and Ndukwe, he's out. So now they're forcing a safety to have to cover a wide receiver man-to-man.
Brown is back in on 1st and 10. And Hartline out of Ohio State. Trent was right there. Rolls to the 43 and picks up 3 yards on the play.
So a drive that started deep inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5-yard line, that is, for Chad Henning and this offense. Now he has them on the move. Not easy when you're backed up against your own end zone. He's converting 3rd downs, and right now Cincinnati Bengals, their defense need to be concerned they can't get off the field.
Nickel secondary, 2nd down and 6. Marshall dancing. The quarterback may throw a block. Brown threw a block. And the tackle was made with the loss of about 2 on the play by Carlos Dunlap. He's out of the University of Florida, a 2nd-round pick. And back to the 44.
You were mentioning all the guys who had thrown some blocks. Now watch the quarterback, Chad Henning. He thought about throwing a block. Wasn't so sure. And watch Dunlap. Is he going to block him? No. So that is a whiff. Look, can I make a block? If he throws the block, and it's going to be a nice run, but he never would block Carlos Dunlap.
It's 3rd down and 7. Henning, incomplete. Receiver Hartline fell. That is a flag on Leon Hall. He is number 2 in the AFC in interceptions with 4. That'll be a 1st down for the Dolphins.
Pass interference. Defense number 29. Automatic 1st down.
So the infraction is on Leon Hall. He did make contact, and here's a guy that has played very well. Had a tremendous interception in the 3rd quarter of the Falcons game last week to ignite a comeback that fell short. But there you see him having contact. He's one of the better cornerbacks in the league. Brandon Marshall said he was a top 5 cornerback. And look at the completion percentage against the top cornerbacks in the league. Darrelle Revis, quarterbacks only completed 37% of their passes against him 1 year ago.
With a couple tight ends on 1st and 10. That's Ronnie Brown. Mastrud had just come back in, is trying to pound it away. Gain of 2 down to the 28-yard line. Long drives by the Dolphins today, but nothing into the end zone yet.
Nothing into the end zone, and it's the defense of the Cincinnati Bengals. Give them some credit. You know, we were talking about Leon Hall, and I think that's one of the numbers that a lot of us ought to look at to tell which cornerbacks really are playing well. We tend to look at the interceptions, but how about the completion percentage of passes completed against them? When that number is low for them, that means they're one of the best in the league.
Hilliard is in on 2nd down and 8. Henning. Ronnie Brown. Slowed down by Rivers. Brought down near the 20-yard line. Close to a 1st down. He had 8 yards to go, and he picks up about 7.5. We'll just see exactly where they spot it. Just shy of the 20 and just shy of the 1st down.
It's going to be interesting. What do you do 3rd and 1? We've seen them throw the ball 3rd and short. I got to believe as Rucker goes down, you got to go with what is Lusaka polite on the menu when you get to 3rd and 1, and when he's converted 16 of 17 3rd and 1 situations.
You see Rucker, they've already lost Tank Johnson, who continues to try to warm up his Leg on the sidelines. The bodies are falling. The defensive line of Cincinnati has not had the best of seasons. Their run defense has not been terrific. And their secondary has been banged up. Thus, you've seen 30 passes by Henne so far through almost 3/4 of football.
Yeah, they're mixing it up, spreading it around. This is the 6th time in the game today where the Miami Dolphins have been 3rd and 3 or less. Now, they have to be able to convert those. We've already shown you 3rd and 3, they've thrown it. 3rd and 1, they've thrown it again and was not able to convert. 4 of 10 so far in the game. You think Lusaka Polite is in the huddle. Now, if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals defender, I should know my personnel. I should know that on 3rd and 1, he's most likely to get the ball. As soon as I see him come out of the huddle, I'm really not going to just oversell and play him because they can sneak it behind you and throw the ball as well.
11th play of the drive. 3rd and 1. Here is Polite. Corkscrews his way for a first down to the 18-yard line on a pickup of 3 as they went into the nickel. They didn't bolster that front, and so the Dolphins keep the drive alive.
So now he's 17 of 18 on 3rd and 1. That's almost as automatic as you could ever get in the National Football League. He has a nose for that first down marker. He's a powerful, small runner. Short, I should say, not small. Still big enough to power it forward, as you can see on the drive so far. 4 rushes, 7 pass plays for 77 yards and taking plenty of time off the clock.
Lone tight end is Mestrud on this first down and 10. Polite again. Gain of 4. So he sledgehammers his way down to the 16-yard line and brought down there by Dhani Jones. Pecco had a little hand on him too. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Miami on a drive, and you mentioned this earlier. It's 2nd down and 6. They began back at their 5.
Now, we talk about it when you get 10 plays or more on the drive, and they now had 12 plays on this drive. The defense starts to wear down. They don't substitute and rotate guys as frequently as the players do on offense.
On 2nd down and 6. Mestrud with the block. Time for Henne. Out of the end zone. Covered was Marshall. Covered on the near side by Leon Hall and Trent.
Talking about knowing your personnel, all the Cincinnati Bengals knew that ball was going to go to Brandon Marshall. He had 3 Cincinnati Bengals defenders around him. Only 2 receivers had run the route. And so everyone just went to cover Marshall. He wasn't open, and so Chad Henne smartly threw the ball away.
Let's watch for Bess on this play. He's got 3 third down receptions today.
Now, he would be I think one of the options in the red zone, particularly working the underneath coverage.
3rd and 6. Ronnie Brown blocked by Polite, shy of the first down. Gain of 2. Tackle by Brandon Johnson. He missed some time this week in practice with a knee injury. So out trots a familiar scene, Dan Carpenter, who already has 4 field goals today. Will try number 5 to equal his 5 of last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And remember, look at that. 4 field goals made today. He's going to have an opportunity for a 5th. And Tony Sparano said we need more red zone opportunities. They've had plenty today, and still they keep coming back to Carpenter to kick a field goal.
31-yard drive for the lead. Miami is on top in 2:47 to play. By a point, it's the Dolphins on a drive that began back at their 5. Good couple games for Dan Carpenter.
Now look at that. Last 2 games, 10 for 10. And you talk about a team that's struggling to score points, but they rank, I think, 2nd to last in the AFC. Carpenter has been point producer for the Miami Dolphins.
And Bernard Scott. Brought down on the play by Miami's Evan Oglesby off the practice squad. 21-yard return. And tonight on 60 Minutes, where does Reagan's former budget chief think their taxes are going? His answers may surprise you. And come along for a ride with the greatest filly in racing history. That's all tonight on 60 Minutes on CBS.
Kevin, we're going to give a lot of credit to the Miami's Dolphins defense, but how about the offense for the Bengals? They've gone dormant in their last 3 possessions, where they've gone 3 and out on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 plays, and a punt.
Wake is not in. Nickel secondary, 1st and 10. Benson wrapped up on the play, brought down by Solian. He's good against the run. Yard loss in the play, and it's back to the 25.
And giving credit to the Miami Dolphins defense, what have they done? I think they've stripped Carson Palmer of the running game. They slammed the door shut where Sid Benson had been effective for the first quarter and a half of this game. Lately, the Miami Dolphins run defense has improved.
Second down, 11. Right tackle Smith with the block. Almost picked off. Nice defensive play right there by Vontae Davis. He led the Dolphins in interceptions last season. He's got one this year, bringing up 3rd and 11.
Now, one would say these are missed opportunities for the Miami Dolphins on defense. Make this catch. Get the ball back for your offense and shorten the field for Chad Henne so that they can make some plays. And so, yeah, it was a good play by Vontae Davis. He's got to close the deal and make the catch for the interception.
6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 11. They need the 36. Here they come. Wake! Dropped. Gresham. Coverage by Misi. 3 and out for Palmer and the Cincinnati offense. Cameron Wake disruptive once again up the middle for the Dolphins D.
3 and out again because why? They couldn't run the ball on early downs with Sid Benson, and then they can't block Cameron Wake. Coming off the right side, look at him. He beats Andre Smith, the former first-round pick. Get to the legs of Carson Palmer, the former 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Canadian Football League. And boy, has he been a huge find for the Miami Dolphins.
Huber punt, and Devon Bess is back for Miami. Fair caught, 31-yard line. Henne and the offense take over on a 43-yard punt for Cincinnati. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp come your way on cable's longest-running show, the multi-award-winning Inside the NFL. That's every Wednesday on Showtime. You know, we're talking to Cameron Wake last night, an engaging guy, played at Penn State. You mentioned the Canadian League football experience. He really gave a lot of props to Joey Porter and Jason Taylor, guys that really were good in helping him along.
The guy was out of football for 2 years, worked as a mortgage broker, and he said, I couldn't get football out of my mind, didn't want to live with regret, so I worked to get myself into the National Football League.
1st and 10, Ronnie Brown, back to Henne, looking deep. He's got his receiver, Hartline, cannot juggle it in. Coverage on the play by Malaluga. 2nd down and 10.
Wonderfully designed play and wonderfully executed. The throwback to Henne, and then Henne hits Hartline. Hartline went to Ohio State, nearby. You know, he's back home. He's got a lot of family in the house. Could not make this catch. He struggled as of late to really make the catch and hold on to the football. I thought the ball had a lot of heat on it from Henne, but no excuses for Hartline. He's got to make that catch.
Ricky Williams is in, 2nd down and 10. Long with the block in time for Henne. Underneath they go. It's a loss of a yard. They get it to Polite. Let's go to New York and James Brown.
Kevin and Solomon, Detroit got a new set of downs on a penalty flag thrown against the Redskins. So Detroit capitalizes. Matthew Stafford drills that 2-yarder to Brendan Pettigrew. Detroit takes the lead by 1 late in the 3rd over Washington. Back to Kevin and Solomon.
No surprise there for the Lions. Another close game.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford, Brandon Pettigrew, 2 high draft picks coming up huge for the Detroit Lions.
Full house with Ricky Williams, 3rd down and 11. It's up for grabs. Fasano, was he in bounds? Out of bounds. Reeled it in. Nelson was there defending. Crocker was back there as well. And it was not in bounds, so they got a punt. That's a 3 and out for Miami.
What did Chad Henne tell us? Hey, I just want to give him a chance to make a play. I thought he allowed Fasano to make a play on this one. He comes back to it, back shoulder, but he could not get both feet in bounds. Watch the back heel. It goes into the wide area, and so he's out of bounds. Good coverage by Crocker.
Punt by Fields. Quan Cosby is back at the 13. Boy, shorthand time to 3-8. You want to get 4-5. He'll dance his way and finally get drilled on the play by Quentin Moss. just before the end of the third quarter. 12-yard return, 55-yard punt to James Brown in New York.
Hey, Kevin and Solly, off of a Dallas pick, Jacksonville continues to spank the Cowboys. Garrard hooking up with Mercedes Lewis. Back across the field, 9-yard strike. Garrard 15 of 17, 238 yards, a career high, 4 touchdowns, 28-3. Jacksonville over Dallas. Kevin Harlan and Playbook, Solomon Wilcox.
No Romo. Kitten is in there. This could be the 6th loss for the Dallas Cowboys. Their season's just about over.
JB and Kevin, I can tell you right now, the Cowboys, their playoff hopes was on life support. They're about to hit a flat line.
You're exactly right. They are in trouble. After the Miami punt from the 26, first down and 10 for Palmer, who's thrown a couple of touchdowns today. Swings it out here now, caught by Cedric Benson. Run out of bounds on the near side by Misi. It's a gain of about 3, and they'll spot the ball at the 28.
And if you're Carson Palmer of the Cincinnati Bengals, you want to get the offense going. You've gone 4 straight possessions of going 3 and out. I think you've got to start with Sid Benson. You've got to allow him to fuel the offense, because then you're going to get some one-on-one matchups on the perimeter. That's when your big-name wide receivers have to win for the quarterback.
Wake is on the near side. 2nd down and 7, 4 in the secondary. Benson again. Met by Randy Starks. Plugging up the middle. Gain of 3 to the 31-yard line. Solomon, that is the end of the third quarter. Miami is holding on to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and you know, something's got to give in the final frame. Get ready for a long ride. This is going to be a good one.
Five field goals by Miami. They've got a lead of 1 going to the fourth quarter.
Now the Cincinnati Bengals have to find a way to get their big-name wide receivers going. Chad Ochocinco. A couple of catches in this game, but he hasn't done anything since the first possession of the game. So he's been targeted 4 times, but he hasn't caught a ball since the first time they've had possession.
Dolphins have 6 defensive backs. Wake is on the left defensive end. 3rd and 5. Here comes Langford. And there goes T.O. Brought down on the play by Carlos Dansby. It's a gain of 3. He needed 5. It'll be 4th and 2 to the 34. They got to punt the ball again.
Carlos Dansby is a former safety in high school, and as a linebacker, watch him as he stays close to Terrell Owens. Now watch him change positions and make the tackle. A big guy who can move in space quick enough to corral one of the best receivers in the history of the National Football League. That's just a great play by the defense for Miami.
Hubert a punt, and Devon Bess is back inside the Dolphin 30. Wind at his back. Waving his best. Lets it go. Did it touch him? He hopes not. It's down to the 6. Down to the 4. And Henny will be marooned at his 3. Got the great bounce. 62-yard punt by Hubert. And Bess staying away after he muffed the last punt. About a minute gone. We're in the 4th. Henny nursing a 1-point lead.
Welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium. Devon Bess got to make this catch. Did he touch it? Maybe he didn't, but he would have given his team much better field position if he feels that punt as opposed to letting it bounce and roll inside the 5-yard line.
Ricky in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 4. They blow that play dead.
There's no play. False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Excuse me, half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's the high-priced right tackle, Vernon Carey. These are the highest-priced bookends in the NFL. Long and Carey.
Yeah, you see the movement right there on the right side. Look at that. There was a movement in the backfield as well. Carey wasn't the only offensive player who had some movement.
This gives us a chance to tell you, too, that for the first time, Paul McChriston has come now in at the right guard in this second half. It has been Jean Jerry. They've been flipping back and forth all game long. It is 1st and 12. Carry the block. They got him. Marshall. And he's got a huge gain of 25 yards. He was working on Morgan Trent. They get the first down to the 27.
Brandon Marshall told us in a game with Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco on the field, he said, it motivates me to practice harder. I want my name mentioned when the game is over. I want to have the most productive day. He's been known to get hot in ball games, particularly in the fourth quarter. They're going to need him to carry this team, put more points on the board in the final and fourth quarter.
First and 10. 4 in the secondary. Henny. Hartline. Nice breaking in the tackle there of Hall. Out of bounds. He's wrestled by Carlos Dunlap, who gets him from behind. Broke the tackle by Hall. Picks up 24 on the heels of a 25-yard completion to Marshall. First down.
Yeah, a couple of things are happening right now, Kevin. This offense for the Miami Dolphins is starting to go on the attack. Remember last week, the Cincinnati Bengals scored a flurry of 22 points during a span of 8 minutes in the third quarter, but could not close out the game. So they've given up big plays in the fourth quarter. And now the Miami Dolphins, look, 10 total touchdowns, ranking very poor in the National Football League today. They have none and 5 field goals to show.
First and 10 for Henny. Going deep for Besson, way out of bounds. Coverage by Trent. Second down and 10. Henny today, Solomon, 24 of 36. He's been picked off once, 217 yards.
Yeah, he's cutting it loose. 37 pass attempts on the day. So they're not shy about allowing him to control the game. They're not afraid to put the ball in his hands and allow him to go out and win it for Tony Sperano. They want to be able to run the ball, but the way the Cincinnati Bengals defense has played against the run, and considering they've got 3 defenders out of their secondary who are not playing in this game today, Chad Henne's got to make plays throwing the football.
Second and 10, end around Hartline. Long with the block, and there he goes. Hall will try to bring him down, and does, all the way to the 17, make it 18-yard line on an end around at 30 yards. Good play call. First and 10, Miami.
Initially, they had the run play stop. Watch Chris Crocker, 42. He dives in, but oh no, they go out the back door, and normally where he would be there to contain the football, he's busy making the tackle in the backfield. And that's why Hartline's able to come around the edge and get to the second level. It was a well-designed play, only the, look, second time they've had a run for over 20-plus yards so far this season.
That's true, one of 2 tight ends, Ricky Williams. There he goes into the secondary and down to the 1. Running over the right side. 18-yard gallop. First and goal. Crocker with the stop. Miami at the 1 of the Bengals.
The Bengals have had problems closing out ball games. Take a look at this. Good vision by Ricky Williams. There it is. He's not going to miss that one once it opens up behind the fullback, Lusaku Polite, who was looking for someone to block, but there was no one there.
The Dolphins who only have 1 rushing touchdown this season. Mastrud is the second tight end. First and goal at the 1. Williams stopped by Malaluga. Oh, they got wait. This guy at the top has a touchdown. Williams creeping in. They've ruled a touchdown on the field, and there's a huge discussion now among the officials. This is kind of like last week. Let's see. What will they do?
Don't want to hear of it. Here you go.
Ricky Williams has just brought it in. His first rushing touchdown of the season. Watch it again. It will be challenged by Cincinnati.
Movement up front. Take a look. Was he down? I think that knee was down.
Challenged that the runner was down short of the goal line.
And to think this drive for Miami began at their own 4. Watch it again. Ooh, that is very close. It was the right knee or the ball which crossed. Take a timeout.
Welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium. Marvin Lewis challenging as to whether or not it was a touchdown by Ricky Williams. The replay may show that it was a touchdown. Take a look at it. Now the knee is going to touch, but the official, remember, back here at the top of your screen, he has a better angle. See that elbow? Even though, yeah, the knee is down, I thought that if you take a look behind the defender's leg, watch the ball come poking right through before the knee makes contact with the ground. See the ball there? It broke the plane of the goal line. If that's what he's seeing, then they may leave the call as stand.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown. Cincinnati is charged with their second team timeout.
That is a 1-yard touchdown run by Ricky Williams, a drive that began back on the 4. And listen to the big explosive plays. A 25-yard catch by Marshall, a 24-yard catch by Hartline, a 30-yard run and an end around by Hartline, an 18-yard run by Ricky Williams, who puts it on in from a yard away. The extra point makes it 22-14, the Dolphins. A rushing touchdown, explosive plays. That's the kind of drive they always want to have.
Only their second rushing touchdown all season long for the Dolphins.
A controversial and costly call that contributed to the loss last week against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, play right on the goal line. Fumble by Ben Roethlisberger, but remember, you need clear and visible evidence of recovery of the football. And here we are right here. It's not a fumble, but it is a determination of whether or not he crossed the goal line. I thought the officials got it right last week, and the officials got it right then. Now, people in South Florida may beg to differ, particularly on the call last week, but I'm sure they like the call that we have here today at Paul Brown Stadium, signifying a touchdown for Ricky Williams.
His first of the year, second rushing touchdown for the Miami Dolphins on a drive that, like we said before, had the big explosive plays that this team has been lacking on offense. The ensuing kickoff, and Scott on the fly at the 12 for Cincinnati. Great special teams tackle made right there by Austin Spittler, an 11-yard return. Here come the Bengals, and coming up on the Subway postgame show, JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Collins. Scores, highlights, and news. All coming up on the Subway postgame show from our CBS studios in New York. And to the credit of the Miami Dolphins, we talked to him yesterday, not a single excuse as you take a look at the last 5 positions for this Cincinnati offense and what they've done, all the punts in a row. No excuses last week by Miami about what happened in that call.
Oh, the offense has gone dormant, and in this half, they've only run off 12 offensive plays for 24 yards, going 3 and out 4 consecutive times here in the second half.
Great time for the quarterback, Palmer, on 1st and 10. Benson vaults, and then he is wrapped up on the play by Carlos Dansby. One of 2 very good offseason acquisitions by Miami. The other was Brandon Marshall. That's a pickup of 8. They spot the ball at the 32.
When we saw the Cincinnati Bengals offense, they came out and they had great rhythm. They were in sync with Carson Palmer. Good mixture of both run and pass, where the offense appeared to be unstoppable. We talk about them cooling off, and that's because the Dolphins have improved in terms of their ability to stop the run.
Running into the nickel on 2nd down and 2. This is Benson. Jeremiah Bell is the one to get him out of bounds. A late crack right there by Clemens. 11-yard run, and that is a gain to the 43-yard line.
Good run by Benson. Watch him break contain. He's able to get outside. See Jeremiah Bell filling the lane. And Vontae Davis doesn't maintain containment of the play. Good block by Chad Ocho. And so if the Bengals can just run the ball now, if they can get a safety to drop in the box, it should be more room to throw the ball down the field.
Palmer, who missed 1 day of practice this week with a sore hip, starting today. 1st and 10 into the nickel. Nope, out of bounds. Ocho Cinco couldn't get it. The coverage on the play by Vontae Davis. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Chad, it appears as though he's not happy with where Palmer put the ball. You see the frustration between quarterback and wide receiver. Chad had some drops last week. He ran the wrong route on several occasions last week, and now he's growing frustrated because hadn't had many balls come his way. Look here in the second half. How many receiving yards? Nada. None for Ocho.
2nd down and 10. Sapp comes chatting through. Loss of 6. Back to the 36.
We said you should give a lot of credit for the dormancy of the Bengals offense to the Miami defense. Look at that play. Just a great call by the defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan, using Sapp to get into the run lane, knifing his way into the backfield to make a play. And now Carson Palmer's facing 3rd and very long.
7 defensive backs. First time we've seen 7 of them back there for Miami. 3rd and 17. They need the 47 of the Dolphins. They're blocked by the tackle Whitworth. Almost picked off, deflected. Jeremiah Bell had a hand on it. Culver just about reeled it in as the boos begin to cascade down from the upper decks. They got a punt.
They only rushed 3 defenders. That means you drop 8 into coverage. You cannot throw the ball into a team meeting of Miami Dolphin defenders. That ball should have been intercepted. Carson Palmer's very lucky. He was lucky earlier in the game when it was bounced and tipped into the hands of Terrell Owens for a touchdown. That ball should have been intercepted yet again by a Miami Dolphins defender.
How about the Bengals now? They've missed 9 consecutive 3rd downs. Here's the punt by Huber. Bess is back. Catch at the 29. He dances his way free. Kind of falls on his own. There was very little hang time. It was a 5-yard return. It was a 35-yard punt. So with the lead, Miami. And Chad Henne with 8:58 to play. Watch Fantasy Football today to get the last-minute news and analysis you need to start your fantasy league lineup. It's live every Sunday at 11:30 and make it 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Only at CBSSports.com. Got an extra half hour this year.
Carson Palmer and the offense, they've gone backwards. They started off so good in the first quarter, and now Mike Nolan has seemed to have had his calling card because receivers haven't been able to get open. He hasn't been able to be on target, and the run game hasn't been there consistently.
Jerry is back in at the right guard. Goes down in 10. Brown, there's Pecco making the stop. And a gain of 4 on the play. Up to the 38-yard line. Explosive plays in the last drive for the Miami Dolphins.
And they've come by way of the run game. And yeah, of course, Chad Henne's been able to go down the field to get the drive started. But this is a reverse run play by Brian Hartline. And then Ricky Williams powering it up the middle. And then he was able to run it in for a touchdown. So they got the drive going with Henne throwing the ball. And then the run game really started to heat it up. You can see the last 3 possessions by the Dolphins on offense.
Wildcat, 2nd down and 6. Ronnie Brown. Not a great deal there. Brought down by Dhani Jones after a gain of 2, and he's up to the 40-yard line. How about this now? You talk about balance. The Dolphins, Solomon, today, 37 pass plays, 25 rushing plays.
And that's very good. And you're going to see Tony Sperano, as he's dialing up more plays, they're going to try to close this game out. How do you close out the game in the final minutes? You do it by running the football. Of course, this season, the Wildcat hasn't been a huge part of what they do because the offense has evolved in other areas.
Wildcat again, 3rd and 4. Brown trying to knife his way shy of the first down. The defense holds. Pecco is right there. It's a gain of 1. He's up to the 41-yard line. And a nondescript 3 and out for the Miami Dolphins after they had looked so great the last time they had the ball.
Doesn't make sense to me. Why would you go to the Wildcat?
I don't know.
Remember, coming in this year, they've been averaging 1.6 per carry. And they ran the ball so beautifully, doing it a different way on the previous possession. I know Tony Sperano's probably talking to his offense coordinator, Dan Henne, saying, yeah, we might have to go back to our conventional way of running the ball.
Fields the punt. Quan Cosby out of Texas back to about the 9-yard line. Take it on the move and run out of real estate across the way, and they'll spot the ball at the 21-yard line. It is a 50-yard punt and a 12-yard return. The Subway postgame show is being put together for you right now out at our CBS studios in New York. JP, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Cowell. Scores, news, and highlights. Brett Favre, by the way, will start today for the Vikings out east against the New England Patriots. More on that coming up on the Subway postgame show as you take a look at what they began with and what they've done the remainder of the game. Very surprising.
First possession, 86 yards. They go right down the field, and they're able to score. In the last 10 drives, only 134 yards to show. Carson Palmer has to get it going for the Bengals.
It is, all that being said, it is still a 1-possession game. 1st and 10. Rush comes on, gets away from Crowder on the move. Bad hip and all. Jeremiah Bell watches him trot out of bounds about the 29-yard line. He picks up 8 on the move. Carson Palmer.
Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco, 2 of the best wide receivers to ever play the game if you take a look at their career numbers. And Jermaine Gresham, 1st-round pick at tight end. Jordan Shipley, a phenomenal talent at the slot receiver. And somebody's got to get open so that Carson Palmer's not running the football. They've got to be able to get the ball out of his hands, create first downs if they have any shot of saving their season and winning this game.
4 defensive backs for the Miami Dolphins. Wake is at the bottom of your screen at that end. Here he comes. Dropped pressure, the rookie. Coverage on the play by Alama Francis.
You see Bobby Williams, one of their veteran players on the offensive line. He was chirping at Gresham saying, catch the ball, because you can't throw it any better. And we named these guys in terms of the weapons around Carson Palmer because they're the ones who have to make a play for their quarterback. You can see he start to look at coverage before he was able to haul it in. That happened earlier in the game where he caught the ball, didn't quite secure it, and the defender was able to get it out.
6 defensive backs on 3rd and 2. Blocked by Leonard. An air ball. Looks like he's got, let's see where they spot the ball. Right now at the 30. Looks like he'll be shy by a half yard. He took a wicked hit on the near side.
Take a look at this play. We're going to go ahead and roll it. Now watch, they're going to roll it out coming over here, but watch this. Look at that. Shipley's wide open. Why couldn't you throw that instead of taking that lick as you're going out of bounds?
Clemens got him 4th and 1. Now a timeout taken. Miami has taken the timeout. They burn their first, and they want to think things over.
What does Peyton Manning tell us? Bad things happen when the quarterback holds on to the football. Yeah. Ooh, Carson Palmer's very fortunate that he comes up healthy after getting hit. Look at that. Well, we already showed you he did have a receiver open coming across the middle of the field. Jordan Shipley, I thought he could have saved himself the wear and tear just by throwing it and completing the pass for the first down.
So Dansby and Sapp are the ones to knock him out of bounds. There was an interesting comment from the Bengals side this week. And it said players were more disciplined last year in how they approached things. Came from Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, and Marvin said, you know, we panic. We don't play formations and personnel as well as we see. Everything we show them in practice, we show them on the film. When things happen a little bit out of the ordinary, we panic, and we don't play with a great amount of poise as we did 1 year ago.
Dennis Rowan is an extra tackle here on the near side, 4th and 1. Benson. Quick squeeze for the first down. Bell finally got him. Gain of 4. They'll be up to the 34 and they keep the drive alive. Bengals have 1 timeout. They're down 22-14.
Well, they pull Nate Livings, that left guard, pull the backside guard. He comes in, opens up a nice hole for the running back. Marvin Lewis knows that this is really riding on his offense. And if the offensive line can protect the quarterback, open up some holes in a running game, they may just have a chance.
Wake is on the right defensive end. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Five defensive backs, and this is Cedric Benson. On down on the play by Randy Starks on a gain of 2 to the 37.
Right now, I believe the Dolphins are doing a really good job against the running game. And Ced Benson right now just over 60 yards rushing in the game, 69 to be exact. But he hasn't been able to pop in. He hasn't been able to get to the 3rd level of the defense. They've kept him hemmed in. And they've been able to create 3rd and mediums or 3rd and long for Carson Palmer, which, of course, they haven't been able to convert after going 3 and out so many times in the ball game.
Wake on the near side this time, 2nd down and 8. Up against Andre Smith. Goes Wake and across the way. It's caught by Gresham. And Dansby on him. It's a gain of 2 and out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. The Bengals, Solomon, have had in the second half only 1 play run in Dolphin territory in the second half of this game.
No, the defense has been stellar, and the offense, we talked about them having stalled. So on 3rd and 6, I wouldn't look at this as a do or die down. With less than 5 minutes to go, if I'm Bob Bratkowski, the offense coordinator for the Bengals, I'm using both 3rd and 4th down to try to move the ball down the field.
6 defensive backs. 3rd down and 6. Palmer caught for a first down. Grabbed by Shipley right in front of Benny Sapp. Marking at the 49. 10-yard pickup, and the Bengals will move the chain.
We said at the top of the game, Jordan Shipley had to become a 3rd option for Carson Palmer in the passing game. And on a big 3rd down play, he's able to convert. He's able to make the catch and hold on to it. See how he smartly possesses the ball? the son of a coach, he clearly knows what he needs to do. 12 receptions on third down, leads all rookies in the National Football League.
And still the nickel on 1st and 10. Knocked away. Crowder. Good play by Channing Crowder. 2nd down and 10.
Palmer's fortunate yet again. He kind of got out of sequence. Watch how he starts to pat the feet a little bit. Kind of didn't know where he wanted to go with the ball, then hurried this throw, nearly intercepted by Channing Crowder.
Palmer is on a record pace this season through the air. 2nd down and 10. Ochocinco still shut out this second half. Pocket crumbles. He's not been sacked today. Here comes McDaniel. There's a pass. They were looking for Chad right there. Incomplete. Bell was in the vicinity covering in the secondary for Miami.
And Cameron Wake, he's not going to sleep well. He's not going to ride home on that flight. Look, 91 had him sacked, couldn't finish it. And Andre Smith was kind of riding him to the ground. Palmer comes up throwing it outside of the reach of Chad Ochocinco.
So 3rd down and 10. Drive started back at the 21-yard line of Cincinnati. Into 6 defensive backs. He gets his receiver. 37-yard line. That's Chad Ochocinco. It's a gain of 14 yards. Working on Chris Clemens, a 1st down.
So how about this? The Carson Palmer-led Cincinnati Bengals offense were very good on the first possession. They go 10 possessions where they're very dormant. They don't do much with the football. And now on what appears might be their final possession of the game, they appear to be knocking on the door and looking to put points on the board.
With the single timeout from the 37-yard line of the Dolphins. 1st down and 10 for Cincinnati. Good time. Oh, he's got Owens. And then getting in the way was Clemens. Now, I don't know if Owens dropped it or if Clemens.
Wow.
Or if Clemens got in the way.
Well, that ball was up there. And
it was.
T.O. was waiting on it. All he has to do is come back to the ball a little bit, and I think there's going to be a collision, and that's how you draw the flag. Palmer put it up there. He's got to come back. See, he doesn't come back to it. Yeah. And it hits the back of the defender. If he works his way back to the ball, he's probably going to draw a flag, and they're snapping the ball at the goal line.
12th play of the drive, 2nd down and 10. Let's bat it down at the line of scrimmage. Again, getting in the way. Baker was there. McDaniel, one of those two guys, I think, is responsible for that deflected pass on 2nd and 10.
And this ball appeared to be tipped as well. There it is, right there. It's going to be tipped.
Ryan Baker.
Ryan Baker was able to get a hand on it. Bat that ball down.
He's seen a lot of snaps this afternoon.
He has seen a lot of snaps. 3rd and long. Again, I think if you're the Bengals and you eventually have to get to a 4th down play, you're not punting it. You're not tipped in the field goal. You got to go ahead and go for it.
6 defensive backs, 3rd down and 10. Wake is on the near side. Held up. And dropped Ochocinco. The coverage by Vontae Davis, who is emerging as one of the better young. Oh, and a flag is thrown. A flag is thrown. 1st down, back at the 46. Did Palmer take a hit? He must have.
9 lives for the Cincinnati Bengals. And let's see it. Because Vontae Davis, that's just great defense. He's able to pry that ball out before Chad can haul it in. And now let's see.
Oh, got him on the head.
It is.
Got him on the head. Cannot touch the helmet. Yeah.
Kendall Langford can't go to the head of the quarterback. Give the Bengals a new set of downs and a huge gain on the play.
It does. Now from a 22-yard line of Miami, it is 1st and 10. Leonard is in the backfield. Ochocinco can't hold on. There was a vicious hit put on him right there by Dansby. Good coverage.
Wow.
Good coverage.
You want to know, with the emphasis on the rules on a defenseless receiver, can you still be physical? Absolutely. You lead to the shoulders, not a helmet-to-helmet hit. It was a good, clean, hard hit by Carlos Dansby on Chad Ocho.
Clean. Yes, you're right. The player down is Ocho Cinco, the former Chad Johnson. They have brought in some new defenders for Miami as they continue to rotate on this very long drive for Cincinnati, which began back at their 21-yard line. 15th play is coming up. Catching his breath in a game which has seen Miami get 5 field goals to begin the game, and then they put one drive together, one of their best single drives of the entire season.
And the story of this game, both teams are going to tell you when this game is over, we had opportunities to win it. That's exactly what both teams told us when we met with them about their games last week. Tony Sperano group said they should have put the game away early against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Cincinnati Bengals talking about having had their opportunities down in Atlanta to win the game. And both of them now staring that opportunity again right in the face.
6 in the secondary, Leonard in the backfield. Caldwell takes the place. 2nd down and 10. Intercepted, a big-time pick by Sean Smith. Breaks a tackle from Cook. Gets a block on the play from Clemens. Brought down by Caldwell. The first turnover by Cincinnati today. And it couldn't have come at a better time for the Miami Dolphins. Huge play by Sean Smith.
And watch Sean Smith. And Carson Palmer is expecting Terrell Owens to continue coming over the middle. He stops and doesn't go for the ball. And that's where Smith is just waiting to make the catch. The catch that so many defenders could not make today on defense and finish off the play with an interception. Sean Smith does that. The second-year defender makes a play. When we talked to him last night, he said, hey, the strength of Chad Ochocinco and Terrell Owens is trash talking. We have to come in and quiet them early in the game, and finally they get it done here in the 4th quarter.
There's a gain of 3 on 1st down. A look at Palmer throwing his 7th interception of the season. The gain is to the 27-yard line as Ricky Williams took that for that short gain. That was the first career interception of Sean Smith, who did not start. In fact, he is back as a starter after losing his job in camp. Jason Allen took his place, but now Smith has come back and taken Allen's place. Allen started today. Smith came in on the second defensive series. Allen was beaten for a touchdown earlier in the game.
Yeah, we can show you the play via our eye control, exactly what happened on the play. And we're going to show it to you. Go ahead and roll it. Now watch this. Now Terrell Owens coming back out. Now you got to keep going for the ball. You got to go for it. Don't hold up, because that's when it's intercepted. Quarterbacks have to anticipate that once you make a move to go to the ball, you've got to continue that movement. If you stop, it's going to appear to be a ball that's overthrown. It's going to be intercepted at the next level, as that pass was by Sean Smith. Great defensive play by the Dolphins.
2nd down and 8. Ricky Williams has got the rushing touchdown in his pocket, finds a big hole. Look at the lead block by Long and Polite. He bulldozes out to the 37-yard line. That's a 10-yard carry by Ricky Williams.
Take a look at it. Just good blocking. Lusaka Polite still and looking for someone to block. Can't find a black jersey. That's how big the hole was for Ricky Williams.
So Ronnie Brown has carried 16 times for 61 yards. Ricky Williams has carried 9 times for 47 yards. Cincinnati is out of timeouts. This will take us to the 2-minute warning. And the Dolphins, on the road where they've been perfect this year, are trying to make it 4-0 away from Miami. It's 1st down and 10 with no timeout. Cincinnati cannot stop the clock, and Henny in the victory formation. A huge game for this Miami Dolphin team. Down early in the contest, they put together a terrific drive, which took them from their 4, culminating with a 1-yard touchdown run by Ricky Williams. And that looks like it'll seal the 4th consecutive loss for Cincinnati, and the Dolphins will go to 4-3.
Wow, a disappointing season so far for Marvin Lewis and the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that went undefeated inside of their Division 1 year ago, a team that won the AFC North. Such high expectations coming into the 2010 season, and now they have lost 4 consecutive games.
It's 2nd and 13. You know, I go back to that 54-yard field goal by Carpenter just before halftime, a career long. That was a huge mental lift for that team. They only trailed by 2 going into the locker room.
Yeah, and we said it, that both teams are going to talk about it after the game, that, yeah, we had opportunities to win the game. I thought there were several other times in the game where Carson Palmer wasn't quite on the money. The ball should have and could have been intercepted by the Miami Dolphins. They're the 4th team in NFL history to go 0-3 at home, but begin the season by winning their first 4 road games. So that Jekyll and Hyde trend has continued.
Henne today, 24 of 37, 217 yards. Did throw an interception. Ricky Williams on the ground, 47 yards. Brown had 61. 5 field goals from the Pro Bowler, Dan Carpenter. Huge win. A couple of University of Texas guys. The reason why Benson went to Texas is because, well, a high school kid in the state of Texas, he admired Ricky Williams.
Well, huge game for Tony Sparano. The bounce back from a devastating loss last week. He didn't blame it on the officials. He said, hey, we don't make any excuses. None given by any of his players or his coaching staff. And Carson Palmer now has got to find a way to continue to lead this team. Because right now, after 4 consecutive losses, they need to find their way. They've got to be able to find a stroke to get going on both sides of the ball.
You just saw Sean Smith, a big interception, stops a driving Cincinnati game late in the contest. Huge interception, the first of his career. For Solomon Wilcott's Kevin Harlan coming up the Subway postgame show. We'll take you there after this message from New York.